Gordon student who struggles with depression and post-traumatic stress disorder. And possibly also ADD. We're not sure how much of my ADD spaciness is related to the other two. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a condition that starts when you have, right now the DSMV defines it as a physically severely painful or life-threatening trauma. And it's more of a body response in a lot of ways than an emotional response. You basically, all of our trauma kind of goes to the same place. And so if you have a bad one and you don't immediately get extensive help with it, so you end up really, really overreacting to seemingly minor things is what it looks like kind of on the outside. And on the inside, you're re-experiencing. So for instance, I have a really hard time with anything startling, loud noises, doors slamming. I jump and shriek and look like a tool. And I think that was hard for some of the roommates I've had. It's one of those things that seems silly but is very real to me. Yeah, I was, it was a child abuse thing. And I was actually, I had some counseling and I thought I was fine until this past summer when I was in a car accident, and a lot of things went wrong after that. And anyway, I had trouble after the car accident. It didn't seem like I should be having as much trouble kind of getting over it as I was. I was kind of afraid of everybody. It was just this really weird response, and I went, and that was kind of when I was diagnosed with PTSD, because it wasn't just that I was reacting to. It was kind of physical kind of violence of the car accident triggered all of the other stuff too. Depression is, I think, one of those things. It's very biologically based, and there's a lot of unfortunate theology floating around that kind of ranges from hyper-spiritualizing it, it's demons that you have that are causing you to have trouble getting out of bed, to just denying the existence of depression or basically any kind of learning problem. I've heard the whole, you just don't want to do the work. It's one of those disabilities that it's tough to talk to your professors about because it's so personal, and you don't necessarily want everyone to, that's their introduction to me, and that's going to color how they see me for the rest, because it's not, your stuff is not who you are. I don't want it to be. But, you kind of, it comes and goes, and it's, if you're having trouble leaving your apartment, you're going to be, that's going to affect your academics. So people need to know, and it's just, how do I tell them in a way that is okay with me? I've had some really good experiences with students and some really unfortunate ones. And I feel like some of the, I referenced this a little bit earlier, some of the unfortunate part, there's this tendency with Christians, we need, for some reason, we need very much to believe that everything can be made okay quickly. It kind of goes to our need to believe in a loving God and an all-powerful God. If someone is suffering and struggling and we can't fix it, we'll make a cursory attempt, but we're not very good, I feel, at sticking in there for the long haul. That's kind of a weakness with the church. And so there's a tendency when someone is really struggling and it takes a while to resolve, you don't want to have to watch, because it makes you reckon with things that you don't want to have to reckon with and question your faith. And it's inconvenient, is the shallow one. And so there's a tendency to kind of make a bad situation worse for the people who are struggling by either, you leave if you can, and if you can't, you throw rocks to make them go away. It's human, it's not specifically Christian, but I feel like, unfortunately, I've had more of those kinds of encounters with Christians than than non-Christians. Someone is struggling and barely making it, and for people who don't believe in evolution, we sure are good at carrying out the survival of the fittest, let's stomp the weak and the sick. There are times when I'm not going to be able to look normal. My muscles will be tensed and I'll be like walking like this and I won't be able to look at you, and I don't want to feel like I have to stay in my apartment until I can come out and be normal. You don't have to intervene, you don't have to make it okay, but to let someone kind of be among you where they're at and to be okay with that, I think would be the main thing I would ask for.